Dewey or Don't We? Adapting Libraries for the Modern Era. Group members: Megan Fleming, Nicole Hercules, Stephen Oden, Laura Savage. Library catalogs have to constantly adapt to changing mentalities and technology. Throughout her article, The Future of Cataloging, Deanna Markham touches base on the differences between catalog searching and Googling. Although catalogs provide more trusted results, students and other researchers still use Google as a first step in the information-seeking process. For catalogs to thrive in the 21st century, they have to adapt a Googling mentality. They need to be able to frequently update with the latest and most accurate information possible. One such way to accomplish this is through making high-quality, authentic resources electronically accessible through the catalog. This Google mentality may require a different form of classification for physical materials, such as the Book Industry Standards and Communication System, or BISAC. The BISAC system classifies books into 52 broad categories set up by the publisher. The codes are invisible to the end user and helps enable browsing. Some librarians believe that the idea of keeping Dewey but adjusting categories by utilizing BISAC may help make Dewey more user-friendly. The Maricopa County Library District in Arizona decided to completely rethink the design of their new branch library in Perry. After conducting research, the system found that 80% of their users came to the library to browse books. Users complained that the layout using Dewey was unfamiliar and confusing. The library decided instead to organize books using a layout more like a bookstore. BISAC headings are then put into practice in the library. BISAC has 50 major descriptors and many more subheadings like computers, history, or true crime. The result of implementing this system was a higher circulation rate and utilizing BISAC in other branches. An article by Francine Vyckoff argues that making a library more user-friendly isn't about using or not using Dewey, but rather focusing on what specifically works for the users in your library. She points out that it all boils down to making it easy for users to head straight to a shelf to find what they want. Vyckoff compares Barnes & Noble in her New York neighborhood to libraries she has visited. She found that the library was more user-friendly because the library services are free and more specifically organized. Most libraries have browsing sections and a computer catalog available for users to browse materials. Both of these tools allow for materials to be easier to find. Although some libraries have seen positive results after implementing BISAC, it may not be appropriate in all cases. For one, it is important to remember that BISAC is a classification system used in bookstores and is therefore commerce-oriented. Putting such a system into place in a service-oriented institution may cause problems which might lead to unintended consequences. A library's job is to provide with the public what it needs rather than what it wants. BISAC may lead to popular books being easier to find and more available, but it may also come at the expense of providing a wider range of less popular educational literature that is integral to the library's stated mission. There is also the question of whether BISAC can be successful in larger libraries. Smaller libraries, those with under 100,000 materials, have had some success with the system, but larger libraries would have difficulty in transitioning their materials to BISAC and then returning to Dewey should BISAC prove unsuccessful. BISAC also assumes that all users are browsers or non-purpose readers, meaning they are not looking for specific materials. Most library patrons, however, come in looking for something specific, such as a particular author, title, or subject. For libraries, allowing users to easily locate specific materials is just as important as providing them with a pleasant and accessible collection. Finally, there are questions about how effective BISAC is in actually producing positive results in libraries. The libraries which adopted BISAC as their classification system reported a significant increase in circulation numbers. However, it is unclear how much BISAC itself had to do with this. Generally, BISAC was a small part of a larger overhaul at these libraries. Other changes such as improved signage, refreshments, and more seating were implemented as well. These improvements made at the same time may have had just as much to do with the increased numbers as BISAC. Some libraries have had success with overhauling their collections while retaining Dewey as the classification backbone. For example, the Darien Library in Connecticut has made some changes to its children's collection to make it more user-friendly. They call the system the Dewey Hybrid Model, or Dewey Lite. The books were arranged into several broad categories, each of which was assigned a color to make searching easier. The DDC number remained on the books to give them a second layer of classification. Although it was only implemented in the children's section, it shows that Dewey can be changed without being completely discarded. The bookstore classification model has some good ideas that libraries would be wise to consider. However, Dewey has stood the test of time and is the primary classification system for so many libraries for a reason. To discard it completely would be foolish. Librarians should seek to retain Dewey while implementing some of the attractive aspects of BISAC and the bookstore model to improve usability. A happy medium can be reached. Bibliography